One of the common mistakes that young athletes make when running their 60-yard dash is that they don't know how to effectively use their arm action to get them to run faster. This is sometimes the quickest and easiest way to get an athlete to get a better time in their 60 and just be all around on the field just a lot faster. So what we're going to do is, number one, talk about body position, because without a good fundamental position, you're going to have a really hard time getting the arm action drills correct. Okay. Woody right now is standing nice and tall. He's going to keep his head and neck long without letting his head come forward of his shoulders. Okay, from there, we're going to go ahead and have him take his elbows up to 90 degrees to keep things as simple as possible. Keep the hands relaxed, stomach tight, and again, making sure those shoulder blades are down and back. Okay, the worst thing you could possibly do here is have the shoulders roll forward and lose all that efficiency. Huge mistake that I normally see with young athletes is the elbows bow out to the sides. This is number one. It's going to be catching a lot more wind than if you keep the elbows in towards the ribs, and it's also going to make your arms move a lot longer to get to where they need to be. So it's going to make the running action a lot longer, and you're not going to be as efficient with your arms. So what we're going to have Woody do now is go ahead and turn on the side, and we'll show the next common mistake that I see is that the athletes move through the elbow joint rather than through the shoulder joint. Okay, this elbow action is not going to drive any kind of force and any kind of movement, but if he goes ahead and now moves through the shoulder girdle, now he's going to be able to more effectively use the arms to drive the legs. Okay, so we'll go ahead and turn Woody on back to the front, and we'll go through a quick arm action drill. First, we'll start with a nice slow tempo. Go ahead, go. Just moving the arms in and out, getting the technique down first. Keeping, again, the good body position, shoulder blades down and back, moving through the shoulder, and we'll take that into a quick sprint. Go! Elbows are driving back, and stop. Okay, right there, perfect position. He was moving his elbows back rather than reaching. Okay, you want to start from the eye socket and pass the hand through the hip pocket. After looking at arm action and upper body positioning, the next area to focus on would be the ankle and the foot, and how the foot is going to interact with the ground. If speed is all about improving the amount and increasing the amount of force that you push into the ground this way to propel you that way, then we really have to be very conscious of how your foot interacts with the ground. We don't want a very weak position like this with your toes onto the ground, which is commonly taught at a younger age to try to keep athletes on the balls of their feet. What we teach at Major League Strength is keeping the toes up to the shins, which is going to improve the amount of reactiveness that we have into the floor and improve the amount of strength that we have in the ankle. This is a very weak position. This is a very strong position that's going to propel us forward when we drive through the floor. It's not to say that we're running on our heels. It's just to say that we're driving our toes to our shins to be able to push through and extend through our hip, knee, and ankle. So what we're going to have Woody work on here with a few of these ankling drills is exactly that, getting that triple extension through his hip, through his knee, through his ankle to push him through. So we're going to go ahead, and Woody's going to start with one foot on the ground and drive his toes to shins with the opposite foot. So by pushing through one foot, he'll lift up with the opposite side foot and really work the calf. So we're going to push away, and almost hit full foot and push, full foot and push. So go ahead through that, Woody. That's it. And you can almost hear the pop into the floor as he drives through. He's going to be using the calf and his back bottom glute to drive him through, again, keeping perfect posture, head in good position, shoulder blades down and back. The next drill, we're just going to take that to another level and add a double bounce to it. This is almost like an active calf exercise. So he'll go ahead and push through the back bottom leg and drive toes to shins with the opposite foot. It's just a double bounce. And then take that into a more reactive drill, which is much more like the actual contact that the foot is going to make with the floor when you're running, just without the arm action, without the knee drive. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and go through more of a double skip with a straight leg, toes to shins, and then take that into the next drill, which is our actual double skip, where he's going to incorporate the knee drive and the arm drive. Again, keeping good posture, pushing through the ground, toes to shins, pushing through that back bottom glute. After working on arm action and then foot contact and foot position, the next thing to do would be to work on actual body position in the air and how the body is going to move mechanically as you run. Okay, part of increasing speed would be to increase the strength, increase the reactiveness, kind of like doing some of those foot contacts that we just did, and also some low-level plyometrics, and then doing some more mechanical work that we're going to get into right now with Woody. So Woody will go ahead and put his hands just about rib height, keep his elbows somewhat straight, shoulder blades down and back, keep his head straight with his shoulders. Okay, his ears should be lined up with the middle of his shoulder. Okay, from there he's going to keep a straight line from his shoulder to his hip to his ankle. Keep about a little bit of space underneath here, about the size of a deck of cards you could slide under there. And then from that position, he'll go ahead and drive one knee up with toes to shins. He's right now pushing through this back bottom glute and through this calf, bringing his knee up as high as he possibly can without tucking his hips underneath. We want to maintain good hip position and also be able to bring that knee as high as he can. So the first drill is the march. He'll go ahead and switch about every second, just maintaining that perfect posture through here. You should feel this in the stomach, in the glute, okay, maintaining that good posture. The next drill is going to be taking that a little bit more dynamic and a little bit faster. Now he's going to be pushing a little bit more force into the ground and driving up a little bit quicker with his legs. These are called singles. These are our wall drill singles. Good. Now we're going to take it into triples, where he's going to take 3 quick leg drives similar to that last singles drill. The important thing to focus on with this drill is to make sure that you're bringing your knees up the same height as the starting point. If you have a coach to work with you, you can do some random wall drills, which would be in the situation where I can clap and give him a command, whether it be 1, 2, or 3 arm leg drives. Ready? 1, 3, 2. After working on our upper body position and arm action, and then our foot contacts, then our knee drive on a wall drill, the next progression would be to pull it all together into what's called our resisted series. Okay? You can use these resistance bands with the foam pad on it. I wouldn't recommend using anything other than something with a foam pad on it. The other thing you could probably use would be a sled with weights on it. The first drill that I'm going to have Woody go through is the same exact drill that we did on the wall in the march, but now what we can do with the resistance band is take it to the point where it's on the wall and static and staying in one place, to where he's going to actually be moving across the field, which is going to be much more specific to how it's going to feel for him on the ground and on the field. So I'll go ahead and wrap this band around him. One of the keys as a holder is to make sure I'm giving him enough resistance so that he can get into a good forward lean position like on the wall, but not give him so much resistance where I'm going to be pulling him back. The other key is to put one hand through one loop, the same hand through the opposite loop, and then go ahead and wrap it around so that it's impossible for this thing to be let go of. These plastic hooks are not going to feel too good in his back if I let this go, so we want to make sure that we're keeping this as safe as possible. We're going to go ahead and give Woody some resistance. He's going to lean as far forward as he can and take it into a march, keeping good arm action, elbows back and at 90 degrees, keeping good posture, and he's pushing through his back bottom glute with every movement. Good. Now if we spin that drill around, we're going to go ahead into what's called our resisted skip. So he'll take the same action that we did with our ankling drills and now do it with a forward lean. And then our last drill is going to be almost like a resisted run. Now, one thing I don't want to have happen is for this to turn into like a strongman truck pulling competition where it's going to destroy his mechanics. I want to make sure that he's maintaining his good posture, keeping his knee drive and his foot contacts to be sound, and keeping his elbow drive back the same as he would do it if we were doing just a generic skipping drill or his wall drills. All those things should stay the same in this drill. So it's really important as the holder to make sure you're giving enough resistance to get him at forward lean, but not so much resistance that it's going to make him want to pull and get down really low and try to grunt through the work. The other cues that I'm going to give him is that it's a high knee drill into a high knee sprint. So you're working on your acceleration and that piston-like action of pushing your feet down and back and driving your knees up the whole way through the drill. This is not how you would run a typical 60-yard dash for the first few yards. It is, however, the way you would start that 60-yard dash. We're going to try to work on that knee drive and that piston-like action through the whole drill. So I'll go ahead and grab the rope again through the loops around the top so we don't let go. I'm going to hold on nice and tight. He's going to start in a high knee drill. Go ahead, high knee drill. Toes to shins, lean, lean, and drive, 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 drive.